What up, y'all? Welcome back to the next episode of Don't Do That on Wicked Wednesday.
Wicked!
Wednesday!
Yeah.
Halfway there, guys. Halfway there.
Hump Day is here, and
Yes.
we are here to tell you
Woo.
some things about. Hey, check this out.
Well, hold on a minute. Jeter XL. House of Dane.
Smoke of the app.
Oh, shit. Smoke of the Ep. My eyes are watering. Smoke of the Ep. House of Dank. That is my spot.
That is the spot.
This one is strawberry shortcake.
Ooh, strawberry
shortcake.
I remember her.
Oh, so do I. Go ahead.
All right, so check it out. The name of the episode is Minecraft Movie Breaks Records, right? So, right off the bat, I'm going to let you know Minecraft is more on my kids' level. They started out with the Minecraft and the little square puppies and square people and building stuff. And we saw it on television screens all across America for years. And so what they did was they dropped a movie in the vein of all the other video game movies like Sonic and Mario Brothers. But this time,
they got it right.
$163 million opening weekend. So the Minecraft movie has broken all
numerous
kinds
records.
Of records. All kinds of records. You want to hear the records that it has broken?
Let's hear them.
Well, here we go. Wrote a little song about it. Want to hear it? Here you go.
Here you go.
All right. So, off a $150 million budget, which means they've already made back the money they spent making the movie, plus 13 million, give or take. Okay. So, it is the biggest opening of the year 2025. All right. It is the biggest opening for a movie based on a video game. The title holder before this was Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which of course Jack Black was also in as Bowser. And it was as the voice of Bowser. And it was $146 million. Okay. 146 million.
That's still not
but
bad.
Now Minecraft has beat that out with 163 million. It is also, speaking of Jack Black, biggest opening weekend for a weekend movie for both Jack Black and Jason Momoa.
Wow.
So yeah, you.
What about Aquaman? Right, like
it even beat out Batman versus Superman's opening weekend. $163 million. Like I said, Minecraft is not my bag, baby, but damn.
Yeah.
163 million.
Yeah.
And that's just the opening weekend. Just
and congratulations to Jack Black on top of that. You know, he did that's
I guess they say if you want to do a video game movie, you better get that man and have him involved. I mean, because they did the Sonic movie, it had Jim Carrey, and that did numbers. They did the Detective Pikachu, and I mean, I guess they keep having massive success like this. They're going to continue making video game movies.
Okay. All right, so Judge, the Central Park 5. Now, if you think about it, to me personally, I feel it should be considered a historic event because of these 5 young men that were literally charged for something that they did not do. You know, so, and for them to spend as long as they did and going through that stuff back in the 80s and 90s was rough. You know, especially whenever it came to them wanting to make sure they got their suspect. They didn't care who it was. If you fit the description, you were their suspect and they wanted the case closed. Period. End of story. So the judge refuses to dismiss Central Park 5's defamation case against President Trump. So they are going through with it. They are going forward. Thank you, as they should. Period. Now, U.S. District Judge Wendy Beetlestone had in Philadelphia denied Trump's motion to dismiss the brief Thursday night order. Now, this had happened in 1989. A rape had happened, and beating of a woman who was jogging. It was a gruesome case back then. It was not. It wasn't nice. Now, the five men sued Trump in the midst of last fall's presidential election campaign, accusing him of making false and defamatory statements about them during the September 10th debate. Now, here. Sorry. Trump misstated key facts of the case when Harris brought up the matter, saying they admitted they said they pled guilty, and I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately, and if they pled guilty, then they pled we're not guilty, Trump said. Now, the men, Yusuf Salam, Antron McRae, Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise, never pleaded guilty. They were convicted after jury trials. Also, no victim died. Now, Trump's lawyers, Karen Swigart, in a statement, called the lawsuit an unfounded and meritless attack on Trump. The judge's dismissal of certain claims is a victory, Stugart said, and vowed to continue fighting to protect the First Amendment rights of not just the president, but all Americans. Now, in the request to dismiss the case, Swigart had said the president's statements were protected under Pennsylvania's law that grants civil immunity over statements made on a matter of public concern. Swigart's request to dismiss also said Trump's statements were substantially true, that he didn't dispute the men were ultimately exonerated, and that he had only intended to portray his thinking in 1989, when following the men having confessed, Trump purchased a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the reinstatement of the death penalty. At the time, many in New York saw Trump's ad as calling for the teens to be executed. The five men had been teenagers when they were accused of the rape and beating of a white woman jogging in New York's City Central Park. The five, who are black and Latino, said they confessed to the crimes under duress. They later recanted, pleading not guilty in court, and were later convicted after jury trials. Their convictions were vacated in 2002 after another person confessed to the crime. When the lawsuit was filed, Specter said Trump defamed them in front of 67 million people, which has caused them to seek to clear their names all over again. Now, I have the name of the person who is initially the person that had committed the crime. His name is Matthias Reyes, was the real perpetrator, and he is the person that actually ended up, they found the semen on the sock. They were able to correctly do the job and finally get the person who had did it. So yes, absolutely. Whenever something like that is brought back up again and stated the way he stated it, yeah, they have to fight to have their names exonerated again. That was a horrible case.
I'm really ashamed of myself, actually, that I didn't know about this until a few years back.
When they made the documentary.
Yeah, when they made the documentary is when I had my eyes open to like how detailed and severe this whole situation was, and I was just like.
But the one thing that you can elaborate on is how things were done back in the 80s and 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, on how they had did things when it came to making sure that they said, screw it, we're going to make sure that the case is closed as fast as we can.
Yeah.
You know, if you fit the description and you had no alibi, nothing to stick for, you did it, and you were definitely going to prison, even if you were innocent.
That's why people getting released from prison,
right?
Now
Yeah,
that were not guilty.
They were not guilty, and
15 piece,
and had to pay.
Piece.
The city had to pay.
Like, what the?
You know, so at the end of the day, it's like people have to understand.
America great again,
yeah, make America great again. What, to make it go back to the 80s and 90s, so we can go ahead and, have more innocent people locked up for stuff they didn't do. Yeah, that's a great way to be able to
Rodney
start it
King.
off. We'll have I'm still waiting for those trials of Robert Brooks for Marcy Correctional. It's in April. They have their dates scattered.
Breonna Taylor.
Yep, all of them, everybody.
Philando
Breonna Taylor.
Castile.
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin.
Yep, the beginning.
George Floyd.
The beginning was Trayvon Martin. And then who was the young lady that was murdered? She was pulled over and it's like the mugshots they had were different. You could blatantly tell she was dead in the mugshots. I can't, and that's sad. That's sad that there's so many that you can't remember all the names of the people.
And it's messed up when there's so many people that they all blur together and we all just keep moving day to day as if it's just commonplace. We're so apathetic to it now. We're so desensitized.
It's starting to become almost like a normal reality to just see this shit happen, and then to see how many people are literally okay with it, and think that it's okay, and think that they want to go ahead and try to find the bad of the person that was murdered, and find a way to say, hey, well, this person did this in their past 20 years, that they deserve to die anyways. Or, well, this person did this person, or this person did that. Well, that's the reason that they were a bad person anyway, so they must have deserved to die.
And going back to the story about the New York Five, right? Just imagine if they could push a narrative, if they were so intent on pushing a narrative then.
Imagine the narrative that they could push now.
The technology and social media and AI and everything, all the technological advances that we have now. Imagine pushing a narrative now and the ease with which one would be able to do that. I'm just leave that there. Let's leave that there for you. Do with that what you will.
All right, what's your next one?
Unfortunately, what I had for my next one was basically stuff that I wanted to let y'all know that today's Wednesday. And so Sunday we had some really good TV. Last of Us Season 2's premiere on HBO Max. And then last night, the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. All I can say is
watch it.
With the end of that, on Daredevil Born Again, they are already filming season 2. They are well into season 2 as far as filming it. So remember that it was supposed to be 18 episodes, okay, in the start. And then they started and they cut it in half and gave us 9. So they already had meant to leave us on that cliffhanger. Already meant that. But then what they were doing, Kevin Feige didn't dig it. He fired everybody, brought back the people from Netflix that did the Netflix Punisher and Jessica Jones shows. He brought them back. They figured out what they wanted to do with Daredevil. They redid the first episode, and then they did episodes 8 and 9. Everything in between was the other people, but they worked around it. And season 2 will be their full, what their vision is going to be. So the only thing I can tell you is we got Andor season 2 coming up, so that's some more bingeable stuff.
Right.
I want to start getting.
We want to give people some time to be able to catch up on some other stuff, so we don't spoil it for everybody. Because at the end of the day, other people also have very busy lives and may not have been able to watch it all at that time.
So I don't want to say what happened on either of the shows.
Exactly.
Say good television.
Exactly. Good
television. Appointment television, because they're making you tune in at 9 p.m. But They're much like Reverend Sapp. They want to close the doors. Close the doors. Close the
Close the
doors.
doors.
Close the
Close
doors. I
the
want
doors.
all of the subscribers to the channel to walk up. I want to see those subscribers. I want to see that those bodies moving. And that's what Disney's trying to do, and HBO is trying to do by making you come back at 9 p.m. Because if you remember back in the day, like I said, do you remember Barney Miller or do you remember Living Single? Yeah, they made you wait until 8 p.m. on a Thursday, and then you had appointment television. You knew that at 8 p.m. you were either watching this show or that show.
Yep.
At 9 p.m. you were either watching this show or that show.
Yep. You had a choice to flip in between commercials.
And then streaming kind of switched all that around, and then they figured out, damn, well, if we give them all everything all in one watt, then they're gone in 3 days.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
So now we're back here, appointment television. That's what they're doing. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about real quick. This is like on my superhero swag stuff. Big Bad Toy Store, actually, which is one of the biggest retailers in the action figure collectible community. They are very well known, and they actually made a statement in regards to the tariffs. Okay. Regrettably, this is coming straight. I'm paraphrasing, but they said regrettably, they did not like to have to increase prices, but due to the tariffs, and they explained in full how the tariffs affect the pricing
Plastic.
and affect everything. And yes, so for all of my people out here that are complaining about the prices of the figures,
Blame
I say this all
Trump.
the time.
Sorry, but not
Either
sorry.
you want it or you don't want it, because now it's going to be even more expensive to get it.
Because it's tit for tat bull crap.
You're going to have to either pay for the figure, and me personally, I have not defended the price of the Maximum Spider-Man nor the Maximum Hulk. I will defend the price once I have it in hand and I can tell you whether or not it is worth it to me. I told you that if I didn't want it, I wouldn't buy it. I wanted it for my collection, so I did. Same thing with the Maximum Hulk. And I will give you the complete overall opinion on the Superhero Swag Show when I actually review the figure and I have it in hand to tell you whether or not it's trash or good.
I'm going to defend it regardless, because at the end of the day, well, that's their stuff, so they can price it as they want. So, being the fact that, oh, we can do it too, well, they can do it too. So there goes, that and JD Vance's eyeliner.
Oh, that was right on time, wasn't it?
Shake that, yeah.
Okay. Back to you, Potts.
All right, so former correctional officer convicted of violating inmates' rights. So, what correction? What was that? Current from hold correctional facility.
What happened there?
This is her name, Ivory S. Cousins, 35, of Glassboro, New Jersey, was found guilty of 3 counts of depriving an inmate of civil rights under color of law, and 1 count of filing a false report, according to the office. The charges stemmed from Cousins' conduct at the Curran from Hold Correctional Facility while employed by the Philadelphia Department of Prisons. According to the office, Cousins was indicted in August 2024 following a federal investigation that found she violated an inmate's civil rights by disregarding his serious injuries after an assault by a fellow inmate. Now, documents also stated that she was aware of the seriousness of the conditions of the inmate was in and still did nothing. They got into a fight, and the injuries were pretty serious. She seen him and did nothing. After her partner had realized what was going on and seen the injuries and how serious it was, he went and got help. And by the time he got back from getting help, she then had proceeded to spray the man with pepper spray. With pepper spray. Then also proceeded, the same inmate that he got into a fight with, she proceeded to allow him to go into his cell and steal his personal items.
Hell no.
So that it was like, okay. Now now later Cousins had submitted a false report claiming that the inmate had acted aggressively, had been involved in a fight, and had used a weapon. Sentencing is scheduled for July 24th, and Cousins faces a maximum possible penalty of 41 years in federal prison, according to the office.
Bruh.
It seems to me like people of authority seem to have a problem with holding authority correctly. It's a simple thing. One, I get the simple fact that, all right, people broke the law. Inmates broke the law. They did whatever. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Big deal. You are now have a job to do. You are getting paid to watch these grown-ass kids, basically. That's basically what you're doing. You're watching grown-ass kids. You are a babysitter now. Okay, that means you don't let them do stupid stuff. All right, as much as you would probably enjoy to watch a little inmate fighting and all that other good jazz, throw little bets down, it is what it is.
Right.
That's not what it's for. That's not what you're getting paid to do. Because at the end of the day, medical care costs more money to do than it is to just pay your simple ass to do a job. All right, and people out there that feel as if that, yeah, these inmates are scum of the earth and all this yada yada yada, that they deserve to be treated as scum. Well, you know what? Fuck off. All right, screw you. You get to be treated like the piece of shit you are as well. So whoever don't like you probably says a bunch of shit about you. Probably don't even like being in your presence. Probably has a good reason not to want you in their presence or like you. So at the end of the day, you're not the only taxpayer, if you're even a taxpayer, probably sitting there on your ass, getting taxpayer money through disability or Social Security or whatever the hell you're doing. I don't really care. At the end of the day, you're not going to have it here soon, you Trump tard. So at the end of the day, keep these people in line, do what you're supposed to do, and go from there. So now, that is it. That's all, actually. That's all I have. So, but all right, you guys, I do appreciate you coming out and seeing us on this Wicked Wednesday. We're almost there to Epic Fridays, and that's when we'll see you again. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get notified, and we'll see you next. Pieces.